Well, we're going to get back into putting everything back together again, but the one thing you want to be sure of, and the one thing that really needed, was this little cup back in here for the driven pulley, the end bearing that goes in here. It says to fill this, there's a little cup in there that's about up to the back of the, well, you can't see it, but it's about ½ an inch deep, and that's supposed to be full of lithium soap grease. And this is a kind of the factory version is some sort of yellow grease, and it's almost gone. So it's a good thing that I took this, did this service now, because there's not enough grease in there to maintain the end of that shaft. So let me go ahead and clean it out and fill it back up with some of my lithium soap grease. They call it, Yamaha calls it race grease, but it's their version of lithium soap, and it's a red color as opposed to the factory using this yellow stuff. Well, I got out my Yamaha race grease here, the lithium soap, and I made a trick for filling up that hole, is to jam this tube, plastic tube, that'll fit in, it's about, I don't know, ½ an inch, 5/8 in outside diameter, jam it down into the container here, and then I've got a piece of wood that goes down inside, and you just push it out and it fills up the hole without a lot of mess. I just finished squeezing. I just took the tube, instead of putting it on the screws, I just squeezed a little bit, just a little dab in each one of the screw holes on the engine frame. And we got our grease in here now. We got our little pain in the ass bracket back in here. Getting it around the exhaust pipe can be a little This is the bracket that holds the emergency brake cable. Okay. There we go. Are we in tight? Yeah, we're in tight. Okay. Come back as I'm torquing these down. I'm just going to put the screws back in. Remember the black spots up here we marked go for the little guys. And I got to get the torque settings and the torque wrench. Okay, we're going to start with these little guys, the 10 Newton meters. Okay, again with our outward. Now our migration to the ends. Come on. I'm always nervous with aluminum. I've had to helicoil things in the past. I think it's too late. Okay, get these guys back in at 7 Newton meters. And this case, these are the ones that I blew out, had the drill out, and so I just put in hex head inside. I almost forgot to put the filter on, so then I had to fire up the compressor and blow out this filter and the one on the other side, and at the same time blow out all the stuff that accumulates, dust and debris that accumulates on top of the engine and around it, and the brakes, blow them out. And these I used the hex, like I said before. I ruined those bolts trying to get them out. I believe it was these, and I took the ones here and put there. So, and they work because all you got to do is tighten it down, because it holds the air filter in place. And then this thing here only goes on one way. You want the air intake on the front, so that's pretty standard. And I took the air filter out too and blew it out. It looks brand. It was brand new at 12K, so it hasn't had much change in the last 4,000 miles. Also, it's a good time to look inside the airbox and clean it out in case there's any debris or extra bugs in there. You might want to put some cloth rags down the venturis to keep any dust you might get in there from going down into the carbs themselves. Get sucked into the engine. Okay, got the engine jacked up under the bike. A wood plate underneath the front case. Just a little bit of brake rub noise. No noise out of the speed sensor, so there's no play. I don't feel any roughness in the bearings. Smooth as silk. Pull up and do the same thing. Oh. Okay, we got the Morgan CarbTune out, and we got them hooked up to the little tubes, and it's really difficult to see where that goes. Let me see if I can steadily get in here. There we go. There's the little pipe on the number 2 cylinder, so that's where that's at, and then the 1 is on the other side down in there. It's difficult to see. Oops. Variator sounds quieter. I'll ahead and let that settle in. Okay, there's the air reading at cold. It's still a little high. It'll slow down it a little bit. It started out at 1400, now it's going down to 1200. And it'll keep dropping a little more as the temperature gauge still is down on the cold. But you can see the pretty even. We're setting at about 20 centimeters mercury, HD, 20 HD. See the gauge down there. We'll come back after it warms up. Temperature gauge is up to operating temperatures now. We're down to where the tachometer should be, around 1100 RPM. And we're set steady at 20, about 23, which seems to be about what it normally does. Kick up the RPMs here. They're still holding steady. I mean, it's nice to have them even at idle, but you're never setting that long at idle. Okay, I'm happy. They're holding the avians. I don't need to adjust the air. They're doing what they're supposed to do. Well, we just finished our 16,000 mile checkup. Belt, rollers, seals, and O-rings on the driven pulley, seals on the basically the spacer, and I believe those seals are really their function is to hold the inner race to the shaft, because there's no oil involved there, or grease. We've learned how to make our own driven pulley tool, spring compressor, and we know the I'm going to take this to Japan and find the guy that puts those nuts on it. Make this my T-Bax club, make it a real club. So that's in there, and so I'm going to go get geared up and go for a ride, and I've got something else that I'm going to let this stuff settle for a couple weeks, and then we'll come back. You can see it says shad, so we'll come back in a week or so, and we'll have another video with that, installing that one. So see you later.